Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm gonna go ahead and actually do a full face using drugstore slash affordable makeup. You know, there's no one that says like, you can't look fabulous on a budget, right? So I'm just gonna go ahead and see what look we can come out with using all drugstore, or if not, drugstore, maybe, like makeup that you get from your grocery store. So if you want to see what look I come up with, then keep on watching. Okay, so this was difficult. This was so hard because I always prime my lid with my pillow base. We all know, like, although the pillow base is not super expensive, but it's still like $15 for a base. So I'm just like, okay, I gotta use something like a little bit cheaper or affordable. Let's not use cheap, let's say affordable, because a lot of this makeup, they are pretty inexpensive, but they're good. So let's not say cheap, because cheap kind of put that stigma like it's not good if it's cheap. So let's not say cheap, affordable. So I'm actually gonna use this Prime and Shine from Catrice Cosmetics, and it's the eyeshadow base. So hopefully I like this, because I don't get anything that comes close to my pillow base. So that's gonna be, a problem. I don't know. I'm gonna use an eyeshadow from, or a palette from Profusion. That's another brand. Like, I don't really hear people talk about Profusion, and the eyeshadows are actually not that bad, or not bad I should say, but yeah, people just don't really talk about them. Profusion is sold at my Target. That's where I get it, and I know it's not like drugstore, but hey, at my Target has a drugstore, so I'm gonna go with this. And I know, like, there's still, like, you want to look good, but I know, not all of us have the money to buy super expensive makeup. So, and some people have the money, but they just don't want to spend it on makeup, which is totally fine. And I'm gonna use my G38. I can already tell I'm not gonna like this, and it's not because it's a bad like primer. It's just I'm so attached to that pillows primer. It's like I'm already like closed-minded. Whenever I'm gonna try anything else, I'm like, oh, I have to try a different primer. Like, why would I want to do that? Let's actually go to this palette. As I said, I'm using this palette from Profusion. I have a couple of them. The only thing about these are like bulky, but it's fine. I don't really travel with them. I'm gonna go in with the shade called Retro, and let's just see what Retro is gonna do to us. The shadows all depends on like your primer, in my opinion. Like, if you can have a really good like shadow, and if your primer sucks, I've used that primer before. It's not horrible, it's just not my favorite. Yeah, these eyeshadows are good. Like, they blend very well, and I'm just like, why is there more people talking about this brand? I think this was like $10, and all the products I'm using today are $10 or less, so that's pretty cool. One of my favorite things, sparkling water. I'm obsessed. Just get to the edges. I like to just kind of like do this, but very lightly, so then that shade is like nicely buffed. I've used that palette before, and those eyeshadow works really, really well with my base, so I know they work. It's just this, I think that base is like $2 or $3, so, but it works. It's just, for me, it's not my pillow base, so I'm not excited. You know what's kind of crazy? Like, purple is not really, it's not my favorite eyeshadow color or eyeshadow shade, but I feel like I do a lot of purple looks. My favorite shade is, I like burgundy shades, like burgundy, reds, yellow. You could really just like leave this like there, like so. Just bring a nice little color in the, or nice shade in your inner corner, and just kind of leave this. But that would not be me if I do that. I I keep putting in this purple, but I have no idea what other shade I'm gonna use. Let's get this brush. This is T87 from Makeup Shack, and I'm just gonna pack it just in my order V. And I'm still putting that same retro purple shade. I love this shade, and I love these shadows. They're so good. And I know, you know, I'm saying, oh, they're so good, and I keep like going in. I'm actually knocking my brush off because I don't want to go just crazy. Just, you know, from the get-go, I want to make sure it's like nice and blended. And I'm gonna go back to the first brush that I used, and I'm just gonna just buff the edges just a little bit so it's nice and clean. And let's go in here and let's cut or semi-cut the crease a little bit. I'm just gonna use my brush. I'm wetting that brush, which is my T48. I'm actually gonna go in this shade right here, which is called Gravity. Oh, this is pretty. So I do have a little bit of fallout on here on this one, but again, that's fine. I fallout don't do anything to me. The only time like I'm bothered by fallout is if I have tons of fallout and then I have no payoff. Then I'm like, so what was all that, you know, fallout for? But if it looks good, I don't care about that. Now I'm gonna clean my brush again, and I'm gonna go in this other color called Nib or Nimbus, which is this shade right here. This is another purpley shade. I'm gonna use this to just kind of like blend everything together. You know, this would not be a Decima makeup tutorial if I don't use an M506, right? So let's just don't act like, oh my god, she's gonna use an M506. No girl, we already know she's gonna use an M506 at some point, and I don't want to disappoint you guys, you know, like I'm gonna use it, so I might, or you know I'm gonna use it, so I might as well use it. And I'm just gonna go ahead and just tap this right here so then there's no sharp edges. Now I'm gonna go back to that packer brush, and I'm gonna go back to retro, and I'm just putting just a little bit. So I'm gonna put this down for now. I must break 2 mirrors in one go. I'm actually gonna test this eyeliner from Wet n Wild's. It's just a black eyeliner, and I think this one is yeah, it's a felt tip. I actually like the tip, so let's see how it actually works. But I've used another one from, I heard the drugstore have pretty good like eyeliner, so well, this is pretty. Make sure they have the same shape, even if, you know, or as close to the same shape as possible, because I don't have the same eye shape. So usually I would moisturize and then prime my face, but I don't have a moisturizer from the drugstore, unfortunately, so I'm just gonna go ahead and just prime. We'll just go straight to priming. So I actually just got these 3 primers from Hot Candy, but today I'm gonna do the, let's try the mattifying one. Maybe I should go with the non-mattifying one, because, you know, I'm not really, I've actually used primers from Hot Candy before, and they're pretty good. Maybe I shouldn't have used a mattifying just because I'm not using a moisturizer. So this one is the Sheer Envy mattifying primer, and it's a 12-hour oil control, mattifies and controls oil. We'll see. But the ones that I used before, it's like they look, I don't know if they like changed the formula or if they just repackage it, but the ones that I used before is pretty good. So I actually have a couple foundations from the drugstore, but today I'm gonna go ahead and use the CoverGirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir, and my shade is 737. And to apply that, I'm gonna use this brush. I actually got this from the Retro Paradise collection, and this is from e.l.f. e.l.f. been like stepping up the game in the drugstore department lately. Oh, I remember this foundation being thick, but I need the thickness because of all, you know, the breakouts I have. And this brush, this is my first time using the brush to apply my foundation, and it is so good. Like, it's so soft. And my issues with like brushes to apply my foundation is because a lot of the brushes they leave like streaks. So I'm very particular in what type of brush I use, but this one is good. I don't know if they're gonna do like a, because right now they sell these brushes. I think it's like two face brushes and one two face brushes and three, I think there's 5 in the package, and then 3 eye brushes. The eye brushes, they were just like small, like they were like they were like so short, like the handles, so I gave them to my daughter. But the foundation brush is really good. I actually gave her the powder brush too because she needed a powder brush, but this one like is so good to like apply. I mean, I have like 0 streaks. I feel like, you know, all of a sudden my face is like dewy, but we'll see. Even if this was mattifying, I almost like brush my eye like right here. Jesus. And I'm gonna use this Rimmel Stay Matte concealer, and I think my shade, I don't even know if this is my shade. This is Buff 312 Buff. Well, let's just say this is not my shade. That's my only issue in like buying products from the drugstore, or you know, your grocery store, or you can't really like test them. And in the container this looks like pretty dark. Well, maybe not on camera, but it looks dark, so like, okay, this will fit, like this will be good. And now I'm like, I don't know about that. And I'm gonna use my Luxie brush. This is the 733. I don't know, I feel like I'm gonna use something a little bit darker than this. I feel like that's way too light. I'm gonna put a little bit of this deep olive. This is the hydrating concealer, sorry, from e.l.f. Oh, shake it a little bit, give it a little shake. And I feel like this one is super dark, so we'll see. Nope, this is too dark. Let's try 10 Cent. I still feel like this is light, but this shade is better than the first one that I used, so it's a good primer, just not my shade. I won't say it's not my shade. Back in the day I used to go like super light with my concealer, but I don't really like that anymore, so I'm gonna go back in with my powder brush. I'm just gonna tap this out a bit. I'm gonna use this sponge, and I'm just gonna go in the corner right here because I feel like I have too much concealer. Yep, that did the trick. I actually don't remember the company that I got this from, but I will put that in the description box. But this is so good. I think it's like 20 bucks for 2 or something like that. Just put my foundation brush, and let's just put everything together. I don't know. I'm actually gonna use this powder from NYX to set my under eye, and this is the HD finishing powder, and I'm just gonna, that's another thing that looks super white. Actually, I keep looking sorry, over here, because it looks like, you know, I'm looking at my camera, but I'm actually not looking at my camera. I'm looking at my viewfinder to just make sure that I'm still recording, because sometimes my camera stops recording, which is annoying. Which I know it's annoying. Like, a couple people already bring that up to my attention that, hey, you look at your, you know, camera, and I'm not. But I know it looks that way because my lens is like right here, my viewfinder is right here, so it's like, it looks like I'm looking at my, like, the lens, but I'm not. But I'm working on connecting my camera to my computer, and that should help. I'm gonna go in with my Maybeline Fit Me and this one is in shade, I'm not sure, 25 medium, and I'm just gonna use that to set the rest of my face with my 734 powder brush from Luxie. And another thing that's making my face look super white, but it's fine. No, it's not fine, but you can fix this. Like, this is easy fix. I think it's harder for me to fix a foundation or when my face is like super dark. That's harder for me to do, so this is easy. Now I'm gonna go ahead and coat my eyelashes. I'm gonna use Lash Princess from Essence. These are like $3 and they are so good. Like, and this one, I think the reason why I like this one, no, I think it gives you like falsy effect, you know, like you have falsy on, but that's if you have good lash. Me, doesn't matter what I put on. And I'm gonna go ahead and use my Salon Perfect lashes. These are nice everyday lashes, and this is at the 615, so this is actually really good. I use this all the time. I'm gonna go ahead and put my Kiss clear lash glue on here and put them to dry. Let's go in with this pencil. If it was sharpened, this is Midnight from NYX or NYX. Is their name like NYX or is it like NYX? Like, I don't know, because I hear people call them like both, so we'll just go if you know NYX. And I'm gonna put this in my waterline. I like the faces I do too. Like, when I'm concentrating, I'm like, I don't want these lashes drying too much. Let's see. These bands are so thin, like they're so good. Like, I love how they just, you know, stay. Okay, so we're gonna leave this just kind of dry up a little bit more, because it's a little bit tackier than I usually go for, but that's fine. We can just leave it right there, let it do its business, and let's move on. I need a packer brush. I'm actually gonna use this one. It's an M508 from Morphe, and I'm gonna go in with this shade right here. This is called Splash, which is this shade right here, which is a blue shade. And I'm gonna dust this off because I don't want any problem. Let's go to the other eye. I'm gonna go to an M506 and I'm just gonna buff this. My powder brush, I got a little bit of fallout, nothing too crazy. And for my bronzer, this is actually Stay Matte, and this is from, well, this is actually a powder, but I'm gonna try to attempt to use that as my bronzer. And I'm putting that on a Julep. It's an angled, this is actually a blush brush, but I don't like brushes like that for my blush, so for bronzer it is. And sometimes I bring my I bring my bronzer down all the way here. That's fine, because I always go back in and clean it up. I actually like this brush. This is the first time I'm using this brush, so it will be a staple in my collection. And for blush, I'm gonna go ahead and use this. This is actually from Burt's Bees, and this is Blush with Bamboo, and this, what's that shade? Toasted Cinnamon. I'm gonna use another brush from Julep, and this one is just a stippling brush. This brush is a blush that you have to build up. It doesn't just, you know, it's not just there as soon as you put it on. And for highlighter, I'm actually gonna use this one. This is called a blush gem from e.l.f, but this kind of looks like so. I don't use it for a blush. I like to use it for a highlighter. And this is not like, you know, crazy blinding, but I use this highlighter for work, you know. And these are like either like $2 or $3, or maybe even $1. Let's see what I have here. I actually have tons of lip liners from the drugstore slash, you know, grocery store slash affordable makeup. And these, I have some from Catrice. I have this from Catrice, and then I have a couple from J Cats. I'm trying to think of what I should do. Most likely I'm gonna go with like a nude lip, because you know that eye is kind of bright. I'm gonna go with this one. This is from Rimmel, and then the shade is Obsession, which is 064. I'm gonna use that to line my lip. I know this is kind of reddish. Didn't really want to go with something so bold, but I think I'm gonna tone it down a bit with my gloss. Yeah, that lip is very bold. I have this lipstick from Essence. This is Cool Nude from, and it's 05. I don't know. Yeah. They should just kind of toning this down. And these lipsticks from Essence, they are so good and they're so creamy. Like, don't sleep on these. I feel like I want a little bit of gloss. These are from Catrice, and then these are lip cushions, and then this one is in shade 020, which is Better Make a Mauve. You know, like mauve, the mauve color. That's it. That is it. Let's go ahead and let's pinch those lashes together. Okay, and let's move on to the inner corners. What am I gonna put there? Not sure. This is the T65 from Makeup Shack. This lashes actually looks pretty good with this look. I was a little bit worried because they are a little bit, you know, they're not very dramatic, so I tend to go for more of the dramatic when I do a little bit of a bold eye, but this will do. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this color right here, which is Frosting. It's like a silvery color, but I feel like when I put it on this purple, it's gonna be like a light purple, which is gonna, you know, be exactly what I want. I just threw a little bit of glitter right here. One more thing to do. Let's go ahead and let's fix this bronzer so it doesn't look so harsh. I'm just gonna go back to my powder that I used to set my face, and I'm just gonna use my powder brush. I'm just gonna dust that off, and that's it. Let's set everything together. I'm gonna go ahead and use my Milani Make It Last. And that's it, guys. That's the final look of using drugstore slash affordable slash makeup that you can get from your grocery store. And I just wanted to kind of do something, you know, to let you know, hey, you can still get a full bit and don't break, you know, an arm or leg doing that, right? I mean, sometimes that's all it's about. Like, you can, you know, splurge a little bit and get expensive makeup. However, you can still buy inexpensive makeup and still, you know, be able to get the same kind of looks that you would get if you use a makeup that was, or a brand that was, you know, that you get from Sephora or whatever. Like, you can still look good. My point is, yeah, you can still look good. I don't know why I keep rambling on. You can still look good, just, you know, doing it for like just little moolah, right? So that's it for now, guys. I will see you on my next video. Bye, guys.